What if I told you that some of the most unbelievable moments in history weren't just random, but mind-blowing coincidences that seem too strange to be true? Some of them are so eerie you'd think they were scenes from a movie, yet every one of them actually happened. These are the stories that make you question how much of life is chance and how much is fate. Today, we're counting down 10 of the most insane historical coincidences that will leave you absolutely speechless. Let's dive into it. 10. The Titanic and the Titan. This is easily one of the creepiest coincidences in both literary and maritime history. In 1898, more than a decade before the Titanic ever set sail, a man named Morgan Robertson wrote a novella called Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan. It told the story of an unsinkable British ocean liner named Titan that crashes into an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sinks. Sound familiar? The fictional Titan was almost the same size as the real Titanic, didn't have enough lifeboats, hit an iceberg in April, and sank in eerily similar circumstances. When the real Titanic went down in 1912, people thought Robertson must have had some supernatural foresight, but he insisted it was just imagination. Still, the similarities are too close for comfort. 9. The assassination coincidences of Lincoln and Kennedy. The strange parallels between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy have baffled historians and casual readers alike for decades. For starters, Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846, and Kennedy in 1946. Lincoln became president in 1860, and Kennedy in 1960. Both were assassinated on a Friday, and both were shot in the head. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy, while Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. It doesn't stop there. Lincoln's assassin, John Wilkes Booth, was born in 1839, and Kennedy's assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald, was born in 1939, exactly 100 years apart. Booth ran from a theater and was caught in a warehouse, while Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Coincidence? Maybe, but it sure feels like history playing tricks on us. 8. The man who survived the atomic bomb twice. Most people consider surviving one atomic bombing to be a miracle, but Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived two. On August 6, 1945, Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima on a business trip when the first atomic bomb was dropped. He was badly burned but managed to survive. He returned home unbelievably to Nagasaki. Just 3 days later, the second bomb hit. Yamaguchi survived again. Not only did he live through both of the only atomic bombings in history, but he went on to live a long life, dying at the age of 93. 7. The baby who felt was signed the 1930s. A man named Joseph Figluck was walking down a street in Detroit when an unbelievable thing happened. A baby fell out of a window above and landed directly on him. Miraculously, both the baby and Figluck survived with only minor injuries. But the weird part? 1 year later, in the exact same spot, another baby fell from a window and landed on the same man, Joseph Figluck. Again, both survived. What are the chances that 2 separate babies would fall from buildings and land on the same person on 2 different occasions? It's almost as if the universe decided he was a guardian angel in disguise. 6. The bullet that waited 20 years. This next story sounds like something straight out of a suspense novel. In the 1880s, a man named Henry Zieglin broke up with his girlfriend, and the heartbreak was so intense that she took her own life. Her brother, furious and seeking revenge, hunted Zieglin down and shot him. Believing he had killed him, the brother then turned the gun on himself. But Zieglin didn't die. The bullet had merely grazed his face and lodged in a nearby tree. Life moved on. 20 years later, Zieglin decided to cut down the tree and use dynamite to do it. The explosion sent that same bullet flying right into his head, killing him instantly. The bullet fulfilled its deadly purpose 2 decades after it was originally fired. 5. The first and last soldiers buried at Normandy. The Normandy American Cemetery is the final resting place for over 9,000 U.S. soldiers who lost their lives during World War II. It's a place of solemn tribute, but among all those graves, there's something deeply symbolic about 2 in particular. The first American soldier to die during the D-Day invasion was Private Theodore Roosevelt Jr., and the last was Private Raymond J. Bowman. Despite coming from different parts of the country and having no known connection, they were buried side by side, first and last. It's as if fate itself wanted to draw a perfect circle, honoring the beginning and end of one of the war's most crucial campaigns. For the twins separated at birth, who lived identical lives in Ohio, two identical twin boys were separated at birth and adopted by different families. Neither family knew the other had adopted a twin. But when the boys reunited decades later, what they discovered left everyone stunned. Both had been named James by their adoptive parents. Both had dogs named Toy. Both had married women named Linda, later divorced them, and remarried women named Betty. Each had a son named James Allen or James Allen with nearly identical spellings. Even stranger, both had worked in law enforcement and drove the same kind of car. These were not just a few coincidences, they were living parallel lives without ever knowing it. 3. The Hoover Dam's first and last. Fatalities. Building the Hoover Dam was a monumental project that came with serious risks. More than 100 workers lost their lives during its construction. But two deaths stand out above the rest, the first and the last. The first fatality was a surveyor named J.G. Tierney, who drowned while scouting the dam's location on December 20, 1922, 13 years later. On December 20, 1935, the exact same date, the final worker to die was his own son, Patrick Tierney, who also drowned. A father and son killed the same way, in the same place, on the same day more than a decade apart. Some might call it tragic irony. Others might say it was fate. 2. The Simpsons predicted the future again and again. The long-running animated show The Simpsons is known for its sharp humor and wild plots, but over the years, it's also become famous for predicting the future. Back in 2000, an episode joked about Donald Trump becoming president. Fast forward to 2016, and it happened. In 1998, they showed Disney buying 20th Century Fox, a deal that came true 2 decades later. The show has also predicted smartwatches, FaceTime, autocorrect fails, and even a global virus panic coming from Asia long before COVID-19 ever appeared. While some chalk it up to educated guessing, the sheer number of accurate predictions has made people question whether the writers are just observant or operating from some alternate timeline. 1. Franz Ferdinand's license plate. Most people know that the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914 sparked World War I, but there's a strange detail most textbooks leave out. On the day he was shot, Ferdinand was riding in a car with a license plate that read a 3118. At first glance, it looks random, but the armistice that ended World War I was signed on November 11, 1918, written numerically as the 11th of November 18, a 3118. It's almost like a hidden code or a chilling premonition, sitting right on the front of the vehicle that started it all. Was it just a creepy coincidence, or was history leaving us a breadcrumb trail? So, what do you think? Are these just freaky coincidences or something more? History is full of strange moments like these that challenge our understanding of randomness, destiny, and probability. Maybe it's all just a matter of chance. Or maybe the universe has a weird way of nudging us towards certain outcomes. Either way, it makes for some incredible stories. If you enjoyed this countdown and want more fascinating historical twists like these, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We've got tons of wild stories coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.